Hi YouTube, my name is Heather and I love anti-MLM content here on YouTube. Today I'm super excited for us to watch a video from famous MLM trainer named Ray Higdon, and he's going to tell us about why we overthink talking to new people about our network marketing business. Please remember that he is directing the majority of this video to individual members of his rank makers group who are other network marketers who pay him to receive his advice and his teachings and his resources. Before I start, just wanted to give a little bit of not really a trigger warning, but a warning. So in this video, I feel like his tone can go from inconsiderate and rude and demeaning all the way to, in my opinion, extremely offensive. There is one part where he is jokingly imitating an individual who struggles with drug addiction in order to make his point in a very, very disgusting manner. And in case you or someone you know has struggled with that, you may find that triggering. And I may just be being a bit too cautious, but I just wanted to let you know. And I'm going to keep track of where that is in the video and pause and give you a warning before he does this disgusting behavior. And so if you think that could upset you, you can just stop watching there or skip forward about a minute or two. So that's all I wanted to say before we start. And please let me know what you think below.
Stop overthinking. So if I have someone that knows what business I'm in, I'm going to reach out to them and say, hey, you know what? I've got to reach out to you and listen. It may not be your cup of tea. It may be something that you have absolutely no interest in. But would you be at all open and take a look at my product, my service, my opportunity? If not, no big deal.
Something I appreciate about Ray Higdon, excuse me, is that he always says, someone is not a prospect until you know their position, and you don't know their position until you say what he just said. Hey, are you interested in this? If not, no big deal. So your family member is not automatically your prospect until you ask them whether or not they're interested in looking at your opportunity. And then if they say yes, then they're in position one, and then you can count them as a prospect. And he also says that you do not have to harass your friends and family, and that you shouldn't be going to them first about your multi-level marketing business, because a business built off of favors from your friends and family is not sustainable. So that's one thing, just one thing that I do appreciate about how he teaches other network marketers.
If I run into a stranger, maybe I drop them a compliment. I say, hey, I got to run, but listen, you seem like a sharp individual. Hey, listen, I'm going to run home, but I got to jump on this conference call. But hey, listen, I'm just curious. You seem sharp, and I don't know if this is your cup of tea. And something inside me tells me to tell you that or ask you this question. Would you be at all open and take a look at the business that I do? We're always looking for intelligent individuals, people that want to make it happen, and we show you what to do. It may not be a fit for you. I don't know, but I have a short video I can share it with you if you give me your information. I promise I'll share it with you. Hard?
So that approach isn't horrible. Jessie Lee Ward, she does something similar. She'll meet a new person and then she breaks the communication and says, okay, I got to run. But she does not bring up the business. She just gives them their social media. And I think he puts in a little bit of a compliment. Like, you seem intelligent. I'm always looking for intelligent people to join us. Are you interested in this? And then he'll say, I promise to send it to you. And he said, saying promise attached to an action makes it seem more positive. Like, you would never say like, oh, I promise I'm going to send you this horrible legal document that's going to take you days and days to read through. You say, I promise I'm going to do this good thing for you, and he thinks it's more likely to make that person say yes.
Impossible? Rocket science? Brain surgery? Rocket surgery? Brain science? Is it any of those things? And so I say these things.
So he is going to tell us about how unreasonable it is that people are nervous to talk about their network marketing business. And instead of actually giving us tips and advice on how to overcome feeling nervous and overthinking this, which is a totally reasonable thing to do, he's just going to be extremely sarcastic and demean people in his rank maker program who pay money to hear him speak and to get his teachings. He's going to demean them and be sarcastic and flippant and not actually give any advice. And as I said later, he is literally going to be extremely, extremely offensive, in my opinion.
Because the number one problem with network marketers is overthinking. Overthinking, and all it is, overthinking. I'm just going to let you know. I'm just going to hit you hard. And by the way, when you step through the gates of rank makers, I assume you're coachable. Those that aren't,
I've paused it 1,000 times already. I'm sorry, but in MLM, there's a big emphasis on a certain brand of tough love, and I don't really understand it. Instead of having being somewhere in the middle between hand holding and tough love, they're just mean, and there's nothing productive and constructive in this. It's always like, I'm going to be tough. I'm not going to give you any feedback or any kindness. I'm just going to be mean and disrespectful to you. And then that's phrased like, but it comes from love, it comes from a place of love. So it's okay that I'm being so disrespectful to you. And I hate that kind of mindset. And he says, when you step through the gates of rank makers, I assume you're coachable. We all know in the MLM context, to be coachable means that you just take people like him or uplines, you take whatever they say, even if it makes you feel bad, even if it oversteps your boundary as an autonomous human, and we can all establish and maintain our own boundaries. It's a healthy thing. Even if it steps over your boundaries, you have to take it and apply it. And if you don't just take whatever he says, then you are not coachable.
they leave. They leave rank makers. They're like, screw this guy. He's trying to get me coaching and make me better. Nah, who are you? Right? And they head out. I get it. I get it. I run that risk almost every day. I'm not trying to, fluff your pillows here. I'm not trying to, keep you nice and comfy and say, oh, baby bear, here's your, let me spoon feed you here.
Sir, they didn't leave because you're not spoon feeding them. They left because you overstepped their boundary and you were disrespectful to them, and they know that they don't have to be treated in the way that you treat them, in the way that you're going to talk to us in the rest of the video. It's a positive thing for people to do that.
No, I run the risk every day. Someone's going to leave. But if I'm gonna get you to impact more people on the planet, we got to get you over this whole nonsense of what do I say to human beings? What if they know what I do? What if they don't know what I do? What if they're left-handed? What if they have a pirate's eye patch on? Right? You see if they're open, you give them an out. That's it. And you don't care about the outcome. Guys, I was rejected thousands of times, maybe tens of thousands of times. I didn't curl up in a ball and cry myself to sleep, but I was willing to get the rejection. I was willing to not look cool. So all overthinking is,
in sales, it is a thing. I took some sales training, even though I'm not a salesperson, and they tell you that salespeople are a collector of decisions, and that a no or an objection is not a reflection of who you are as a salesperson. And you have to be able to connect your identity as a human being and your role as a salesperson, and know, as long as you do everything you have to do and have the right mindset's a big thing in sales, that you will improve and you will get commission from your sales. So the idea of separating yourself from the decision, that's common, and that's a basic sales tactic. In MLM, it does turn out to be kind of toxic, though, because everyone will say, oh, just ignore it. Who cares if people say no? It's like, yeah, but I've asked 600 people in the last month, and every single one has said no or ghosted me. I'm not making any money. And so I see it as a basic sales tactic. However, if everyone says no to you in MLM, you're not making any money at all.
we think that as I want to be perfect. I want to really nail this thing, man. I got to really tighten this thing up and sew it together so it's just beautiful. What it really is it's a hiding that we don't want to run the risk of looking bad. That's all it is. We don't want to run the risk of looking bad. That's what it is. So it means I care more about how I look. Right? How do we, right? Is it the duck face? I don't know. Right? How we look versus possibly impacting another human being.
Anyone with experiences with overthinking, don't answer, because it's private information, but how does that impact your day-to-day life? Is it just because you don't want to look bad, or is it because you have maybe anxiety, you have social anxiety, you have other mental health issues that leads you to become too obsessive over things, to over dissect and overthink every single little interaction that you have? I think to say, oh, it's just because you don't want to look bad, I think that's extremely short-sighted and extremely toxic, because there's actually a lot of really serious mental health issues that could lead you to overthink too much, and that can actually really negatively impact your day-to-day life and make it so it's hard for you to function. And he thinks, oh well, I have no problem going up to strangers and talking about my business, so you shouldn't have any problems either. And in reality, like, everyone's different, everyone has different stories and different histories of relationships. Maybe people have had like a toxic or abusive relationship, and that makes them prone to overthinking their behavior and overthinking how they communicate and interact with people. And there's nothing wrong with that, it's totally fine. And I hate this kind of attitude of like, well, I don't overthink, so you shouldn't overthink too. And MLM does not consider that everyone's different and that everyone has like different histories and experiences that may lead them to behave in a different way.
That's what overthinking is. We think it's like, because we're such perfectionists and we really want to nail this thing and we really want to tie it and sew it all together and make it pretty. Baloney. See, I'm catching myself. I'm getting better, man. I'm getting better working on myself, self-development. Okay? Baloney. All it is I don't want to run the risk of looking bad because I want this to look really good. Even if someone doesn't even see me as looking good, I want to make sure I don't look bad. Let me not look bad. And so instead of not looking bad, let me just not run the risk of rejection. Okay? Stop overthinking it. You run into a left-handed person that's a do-it-yourselfer that has a beard but is missing some hair up top. See if they're open, give them an out. You run into someone that works as a scissors store. They literally, that's all they do is sell scissors, and they're a business owner there, and they're very busy with 6 kids. See if they're open, give them an out. You run into somebody that's a fancy schmancy internet marketer, wears a bow tie 57% of the time. See if they're open, give them an out. You see someone at the soccer game and it's a mom you've never met before. See if they're open, give them an out. You run into someone, well, what if it's a Facebook group though, Ray? What if it's a
Reasonable advice, but I feel like that kind of advice makes me believe that they don't really have a rhyme or reason to who they ask, and they just want warm bodies to fill up a team. They don't really care your background, your experiences. Not everyone is going to be good at network marketing. Like, if you're prone to overthinking, if you're very overcritical of yourself, if you're not very outgoing, if you're really shy, you're not a good public speaker, I think there's lots of different characteristics that would make it so you're not good in sales. Me, for example, I'd be terrible in sales. My job that I have, I'm very behind the scenes. I don't do much public speaking. I write all day long, and that's the kind of job that I'd be suited for. I would be terrible at sales because I'm just not good at communicating with lots and lots of people all the time. Also because I am a female and I would feel unsafe going up to people who I don't know in public in my big, big city and just telling them about my network marketing business. What do you think about that?
face? See if they're open, give them an out. Who's turned off by saying, hey, I got this, I just made these sandwiches. I don't know if you're open to these sandwiches or not, but if you are, feel free to enjoy them. And if not, no big deal. I can't believe you offered me a sandwich. How dare
Ray, why are you comparing sandwiches to network marketing? And that face that I paused on was funny. Bad time. He's like, no one's going to decline, like you saying, oh, are you open to these sandwiches? But that's not the same as network marketing. So a useless comparison, and MLM is covered in these comparisons that don't actually make any sense.
you? Does anyone say that? If you see if they're open, give them an out. Does anybody say that? Hey,
Yes, because people know that network marketing is a scam, and they know that you don't actually care about who they are as a human, and you just want them to fill a spot on their team and your downline so you can make more money off of them. People who know what network marketing is, you could get a negative response from someone, and it's totally fair and reasonable to be worried about that.
I don't know if you're open at all, but I have this home business, to make some extra money on the side. And listen, I don't know if you're open to it, but if you are, I'd be happy to show it to you. If not, no big deal. How dare you? Who do you think you are? Seeing if I'm open, giving me an out. Get out of here. stop saying.
Mr. Ray, do not tell people how to feel and do not invalidate people's feelings, very valid feelings and emotions, because they are not exactly how you would react in situations. Remember, you have been in this industry for, I don't even know how long, 30 years, 25 years, and a lot of these people are probably don't have experience in sales, and talking to people they don't know about network marketing is scary, especially if they're overthinking and questioning whether they should be in network marketing because maybe one of their family members said, oh well, don't you know it's a scam. Maybe they're doing research, maybe there's some cognitive dissonance where they know that it might be a scam, but they're just trying to make it work anyways. We don't know why someone's overthinking.
Saying, I need to understand, how do I speak humans? You know, before network marketing, you were able to speak to humans. It was incredible. If you needed directions, you would just say, hey, where do I find the coffee shop? And they'd say, oh, it's right there. Oh, thank you. You enter network marketing, and all of a sudden it's weird. You pass through this chasm, and you're like, okay, I need to ask directions. I don't know where the coffee shop is, but how do I bring up my business?
That face was weird. I didn't like that. I know he's trying to be funny, but that could be construed as offensive, in my opinion. He's trying to make himself seem like unintelligent and slow, and I don't like it. I don't like the way he's talking to people who pay him to learn from him and advance in their network marketing businesses. In my opinion, here, there's no respect. There's just belittling and demeaning people who pay him and give him the lifestyle that he is used to today. What do you think about that?
How do I position it in a way where I'm talking about my products? So you don't even ask directions anymore. You don't ask where the coffee is. You don't ask where the coffee shop is. Because, well, if I say, hello there, just got done using my product, and, oh man, no, that won't work. Because then they'll think it's weird. Why would I be bringing up the product? I'll say, you know what? I'll say, hey, I sure love my home business. Do you know where the coffee shop is? Oh, no, 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 that sounds weird too. Dang it. And so you'll go back home. You'll never find the coffee shop because you're so worried. I'm so concerned. Oh, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I say the wrong thing? Oh, come on, say the wrong thing. But if you position.
What if people are worried about saying the wrong thing? Because maybe, like as I said, they have like a mental health issue that might make them overthink everything, or maybe they have a history of maybe they've been in a relationship or a friendship that was manipulative or toxic or abusive, and that has led them to question what they say and how they act and really lowered their self-confidence. And in my opinion, Ray Higdon, and instead of pulling people down, especially the people who pay your bills and give you your massive house, instead of pulling people down, why can't you be supportive? And you can still be a hard ass. You can still have high expectations, hold people accountable when they don't do what you say, but you don't need to be so disrespectful and you don't need to be a bully. I think you're being a bully right now, Ray. And I'm sure we've all had bosses that were like really like big hard asses, but were respectful to you, cared about you as a person. If you were struggling, they still helped you in a respectful manner and they didn't just bully you and talk down on you. Again, in MLM, there's either you are a hard ass, you're giving tough love, or you're like babying someone. There's nothing in the middle. And why can't we just be in the middle?
And see if they're open, give them an out. Is it really that big a deal? Is it really? I don't know. How do I speak to humans, Ray? I mean, literally. I mean, I think. I mean, this is interesting because it's like I'm teaching a class to people from Neptune, and they're like, "How do you communicate with beings on this planet?" Just see if they're open, give them an out. No, comprehend.
He's saying talking to people in his rank makers program is like talking to people from Neptune. That's really mean. That's really disrespectful, and you're diminishing their intelligence and their desire to learn and their desire to improve their business. Why can't you just give them tips to get over their fears? Why can't you just give them tactical solutions to figure this out? Why do you have to be so mean? I feel like that's the whole point of this video. Why so disrespectful? Just be nice, but still be a hard ass if you want, and just give them tips and advice and hold them accountable for what they say they're going to do.
Guys, you were able to speak to humans before network marketing. I promise you. I promise you. It's just now that you're addicted to the outcome, You're addicted to, I want to say something that might get them to say yes, which you should break, you should release. Stop caring. I didn't care. When I was dead broke, personal foreclosure, chased by bill collectors, my girlfriend, now my beautiful wife, paying my utility bills, right? I didn't care if someone said yes or not. I cared if I asked them.
I already said separating yourself from the outcome is a basic sales tactic that all salespeople have to learn. However, he's making it seem like fear of rejection is so unreasonable and so silly that all of the things that he's talking about are all very reasonable fears. Fears of saying the wrong thing to someone you don't even know, someone you've never met before, reasonable. Fear of rejection, fear of looking stupid. Those are all basic, real valid fears in my opinion, but he's making it seem like we're like unworthy of his time, we're unintelligent people because we have those fears, but lots of us do, and it's fine.
Are you open? Are you open to taking a look? If not, no big deal. No biggies. No biggies. So I see all my new rank makers. All my new rank makers are like, glad I'm in here. How do I speak to humans? It's cool, man. It's cool. Because no one's hit you between the eyes with this. All you do is you say, hey, I got this thing. It's a shampoo. It's a bottle of wine. It's a chalkboard. It's a hat. It's a fun wrist wrap. It's a service that saves you money on lobotomies, right? It's literally a lobotomy saving tool. Would you be open to taking a look at it? And if not, no big deal. That's how you speak humans.
Why is he saying that's how you speak humans? That seems weird, and maybe he's trying to make it seem more normal than it actually is, because in reality going up to people you don't know and trying to push your multi-level marketing business onto them is not a normal everyday thing for the majority of people, and maybe he keeps saying that's why you speak humans to make it seem more like everyday than it actually is, and to further minimize the people's experiences. You may be overthinking doing this very awkward, potentially unsafe thing of just going up to randoms that you've never met before and telling them about your scam and trying to bring them into your scam.
So stop overthinking it. Stop trying to protect the self-image. I gotta look good, man. And as funny as people try to look good to people they already don't look good to. We're so worried about little Sally and what she'll possibly say, even though Sally talks behind your back anyway. Who cares?
I think it's fair to worry about people who talking badly about you, especially if it's someone who like talks about you to your friends or your family. You don't want to like further antagonize them and give them more things to talk about. And I think that's a fair and reasonable thing, especially say you experienced a lot of bullying when you were growing up and your friends were really mean to you and maybe they all ditched you at a certain time, and like that kind of experience can stay with you as an adult. So again, I think he's minimizing a very real and valid emotion and feeling, in my opinion.
Hey, Sally, this thing probably isn't a fit for you. Go the other way. Hey, Sally, this thing probably isn't a fit for you, but would you be all open to taking a look at it? If not, no big deal.
That's also another basic sales thing. So there's like a pendulum, and you have to, if you think that like someone's in the middle, they're neutral, you're supposed to push them up towards the negative side. So you're supposed to push them towards the side that you don't want, and then once they get up to the negative side, then they'll go back down, and then they'll eventually swing over to positive. So I don't really understand how that could actually work in real life, but if someone is like questioning how much your product is and like, oh, that's way too expensive, it's so pricey, that is saying, okay, well, bye, it's not gonna work out. You could say, oh yeah, like I guess we are too expensive for you, like we're the most expensive version on the market, and like you're not going to find anyone more expensive, but we're also really high quality. But I understand why you don't want to work with us. And then you push them up towards negative, and then they're going to say, oh yeah, you're right, your product is the most high quality on the market, and that's why you're so expensive, with the intention of pushing them back down towards the positive.
If you read the book Go for No, you know that they tested an insurance sales team that went door to door. They knocked on the door and said, hey, you're not looking to buy insurance, are you? And because they increased the number of people that they were able to speak to, sales went up like 300%. Do you realize if you just stumbled around the mall and said, hey, you're not looking to make extra money, are you? Sales would skyrocket.
Sales, yes. MLM would be different if it was just selling. I would have no problem with it because sales is a very valid and respectable profession. The issue is the recruitment. More and more people know about how harmful and negative multi-level marketing is nowadays. The fact that it's a scam, that it's predatory, that the system is fraudulent is pretty much common knowledge now. And I bet you the majority of people at that mall are going to know what it is. They're going to know it's a scam and they're going to say no right away. So that's false.
Because right now you're terrified of talking to people because you'll possibly look bad and you're afraid of the rejection and you're using perfectionism as a baloney excuse.
It's not baloney, mister. It's a valid reason.
See if they're open, give them an out, move on, say less to more people. There you go. And if you started 10 minutes ago, you should be able to reach out to some people today, not 7 days, not 14 days. You know what, Ray? I'm just going to.
So I am giving you warning. Right now is in like 7-8 seconds. He's going to do his extremely offensive and disgusting portrayal of individuals addicted to drugs to prove his point. It's horrifying behavior, but I think it shows that these people high up uplines, famous MLM figures can really say whatever they want and their followers are just going to flock to it. People down below are like, oh, it's so funny. Oh, I love this, even though like it's so disrespectful that he's talking to people who pay his bills in this way. And it's shocking to me that the people in his comments just take it and think it's funny. So your warning is here. You can either stop the video here if you don't want to see him make fun of drug addiction, which is fair, or you can skip forward like a minute.
Study for the next 28 days. I'm going to study human communication, how to ask for directions, how to ask for 2 sugars in my coffee, and then
they make it seem so unreasonable that like people want to study and learn how to do it before they do it. Nothing wrong with wanting to know how to approach things and how to communicate with people before starting a sales job. In my opinion, what do you think? Okay, the horribly offensive thing is about to happen.
Then I'm going to reach out to people. Because, man, I'm just so addicted to training, man. Hit me with another one, man. I don't want to do anything. Hit me with some training, man. I need that hit, bro. I need that hit, man. Oh, man. Hit me with that training, man. You got to reach out to me.
Disgusting. Horrible behavior. You should be ashamed of yourself, Ray. I can't believe anyone would think that kind of thing is funny to prove a point that people just want to train and they're addicted to training. Wanting to learn how to do your job before doing your job is not the same thing as drug addiction, and the comparisons should not have even been made. The fact that he thought that this was an appropriate, reasonable thing to do makes me question his character and who he is as a person. And I know if he's ever had anyone in his life who struggled with drug addiction, that he would not think that's appropriate or funny thing to do. Let me know what you think about that. This is probably one of the most disgusting examples of behavior that I've seen in my time of liking anti-MLM content and following this kind of content. It's the worst example, in my opinion. What do you think?
Human beings. Reach out to someone, see if they're open, give them an out, don't care if they are or not, and move on. Move on. I know my new rank makers, you're used to showing up in training groups and just asking whatever the hell you want. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to baby you. And I know we're gonna have some casualties. We're gonna say, I don't like the way he talked to me. He wasn't very nice.
Again, you might have casualties because you overstep people's boundaries about how they want to be treated, and they maintained their boundaries as an autonomous human and decided to leave, which is a very, very healthy and reasonable decision.
Wasn't very nice to me. What do you want, production, or you want me to fluff your pillows? Because we can't have it both ways. You're either going to get production, or you're going to go to some trainer that's going to fluff your pillows and tell you it's okay not to impact humanity, to not cease human suffering, to not change villages in whatever country you want to change, right?
I think he's trying to say that if you stay in network marketing and you're coachable, which is pretty much letting him bully you for 12 minutes straight, let him say whatever you want, then you are going to make lots and lots of money, and you can change the world with that money. I think it's outrageous. You're not going to change the world in multi-level marketing. You're going to make it worse. You are going to hurt people's lives and their mental health until you realize that you're part of a fraudulent scam system, and then you will eventually get out on your own if you have access to factual information on the internet, not information that bullies like this will tell you.
Right? So you either get fluffier pillows or we're going to have some progress. It's one or the other. It's not both. Can't do them both. I'm unable. I just can't. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to fluff your pillows and get you to progress. It's one or the other. Either I baby you, either I coddle you and say it's all right to not talk to anyone ever and never ever make a difference. It's okay. Or I get you into production. It's one or the other. I can't do both. And I know we're going to have some.
Right, you literally said the same thing in like 10 different ways. We get it. You want to be a hard ass. You think you can only be a hard ass and be mean and be a bully and extremely disrespectful, or you can be a softie. You can't be anything in the middle. We get it. You said the same thing 20,000 different ways.
Casualties. I understand it. And I don't blame you. If you're not ready to progress, if you're not ready to advance, if you're not ready to impact more people, if you're not ready to make more money than your family's ever seen in their entire life, then I get it. You're addicted to training and go train.
Is he gaslighting here? I feel like he is, because someone who watches this or who's been in his rank makers group and who is bullied and demeaned like this might be leaving because they don't want to be bullied and demeaned. But then he's like, oh, well, I get why you're leaving, because you're not ready to make a change. You're not ready to make lots and lots of money for your family. And they might be like, oh, well, why am I leaving? Was he actually mean to me? Did he actually bully me? And they might start to question their own experience. In my opinion, I think this is gaslighting. What do you think? Do you think this is an example of gaslighting?
Right? There's lots of libraries all over. There's lots of trainers. They'll sell you training all day till you're blue in the face. Right? They will. Believe me, they will.
Yes, Ray, you do the same thing. You charge people to get your stupid, useless trainings where you just yell at them and bully them and make fun of individuals who experience drug addiction challenges. That is like the most disgusting, horrifying behavior that I've ever seen in any kind of person in the multi-level marketing industry. What do you think about that? I just was so shocked when I saw that and was questioning whether I should even do this video, but I figured with a trigger warning it would be okay. So what do you think about this very famous MLM coach bullying the people, demeaning the people who pay his bills and who are part of his rank makers program? In my opinion, there is nothing useful or productive in this whole conversation except for the see if they're open and give them an out tip, but he didn't give any actual tactical tips to help people get over their fear of rejection, their overthinking, and them not wanting to talk to people they don't know in public. What do you think about that? So that's all I wanted to talk about today, and I will see you next time. Bye.